So it's currently a ridiculous time in the morning, but I just woke up with a very strong urge to make a My Melody cosplay in 48 hours. So I think that's what we're gonna do. To start the cosplay, I drew out what I wanted to make on a piece of paper just so I wouldn't forget it while I was asleep. My final design idea was to keep it quite childish and make a pair of dungarees and then a matching hood with some bunny ears, all in her signature pink and white colours. With the design finalised, I went online and ordered myself a white plain t-shirt and white thigh-high socks, as these were areas of the cosplay I didn't feel like making or didn't really know how to make. So it's still really early in the morning, like far too early in the morning for me, but I'm going to make a mock-up of my dungarees out of this cotton drill just to give myself a good starting point for this cosplay. To make the dungarees, I first drew around an existing pair of shorts, but I made them much baggier around the waist, as I was already planning on using elastic instead of button closures just to make it easier on me. And then for the top of the dungarees, I just made a simple square, as I always prefer the look of dungarees where they don't have any darts or diagonal lines on the top half. I then sewed these pieces together so that I could be sure that my pattern was the right size and style. I'm very aware of the fact that this looks a little bit ridiculous right now, but this is pretty good. I think this is going to work well when I actually make it out of the real thing. The back I'm going to tighten with elastic, and then I don't have to worry about putting like a zip in the back of it or anything. And then I'm going to have straps. Obviously I'm not wearing clothes underneath it, but this thing is completely see-through, so I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think I'm ready to start the real thing. I just need to go shopping now. Luckily for me, my local fabric shop had all the fabric and extras that I needed for this project, including pink jean and stretch wool in the exact same colour. I'm so amazed at how similar they are. So this fabric is one-sided, which basically just means there's a colour on one side and it's just kind of white and plain on the inside. So I'm going to fold it over on itself like this so that when I cut out these pieces, I'll get two pieces that are back to back, just to make my life a little bit easier. Using my mock-up, which I'd ripped apart to make pattern pieces, I cut out all the pieces I needed for the base of my dungarees, and then I sewed the short section together in the exact same way I did before, which just consists of sewing the panels right size together in the correct order. If you think you might go wrong, the best thing to do is lay out all the pieces before you start sewing, just so you can visualise it much better, as I was getting slightly confused even though it's quite simple. So these are the shorts so far. What I was originally going to do was I'm just going to put elastic in the back, fold up the edges and leave it, but I think I want to make them look better, so I'm going to add pockets to it, then a waistband, and then I'm going to roll up the edges, but I'm going to have to work out a way of doing it where it's not going to show the inside of the fabric. Now that I see this colour on me, I really want to wear these shorts just in general, so we're going to make them actually wearable. To create the pockets, as you can see, I held up a scrap piece of fabric to the shorts while I was still wearing them to get the exact right shape and size. I then cut them out of my jean fabric alongside everything else that I needed. I did this just to save time and I was kind of bored of sewing, so I just wanted to cut things out at this point. With the hood, like I did with the shorts, I used the hood of a hoodie that I already owned to get the right shape and size. This is honestly the easiest possible way of making new clothes. For the collar section, I made myself a makeshift compass out of a strip of material, and I was far too proud of myself for doing this, even though it's very basic knowledge. Anyways, after my sidetrack into cutting, I went back to sewing the pockets into place. I decided to use white thread as I really like the look of exposed stitching, and Melody is actually white, so I thought it'd go quite well with her character. Got the pockets on. I think they look really good. They're a little bit shallow, but they're kind of just for show rather than actually useful. I just want to be able to put my phone in them, really. I think I'm going to put on the waistband next, just to make them actually wearable, and then put the elastic also in the back. I really hated sewing in the elastic. It's so annoying and fiddly, and I just wanted to be able to do it quickly, but it didn't want to work that way because it didn't like me. However, I'm still glad I did it, as I also didn't want to have to make more buttonholes than I needed to, or make anything fitted when I didn't really know how to fit things properly, or faff around with a zip or anything like that. Yeah, elastic was the right choice. The shorts with the elastic on them, I think they look pretty good. I think the crotch is a little bit weird. I don't really know what to do about that. I'm going to try sewing up the inside again, just to try and fix it a bit. But my next step is to roll up the bottom. We'll do some folding and get the bottom up properly. So I did just that. I folded up both sides, sewed them in place, and finally finished my shorts. I then sewed my front square panels together. This way it'd be pink on both sides just in case I felt like wearing it down, and then I sewed it directly onto the shorts. For the straps, I first tried to do a normal buttonhole, but it just looked like a complete mess, so I changed my mind to do a hidden button closure instead. To do this, I only cut through one layer of the fabric instead of both, and made a normal buttonhole on just that layer. Then, of course, I sewed on my buttons and my straps into position. Dungarees are finally finished! I think they look really cute. I feel like I'd actually wear these outside the house, not just as a cosplay. I'm really happy with that. I think I'm going to finish for tonight and just have my dinner and wind down because I don't want to do any more sewing. It's kind of giving me a headache. So I'll see you again in the morning. Day 2. The hood was the easiest thing to sew by far in this project, as it's really simple as you only need to sew 3 lines and this fabric does exactly what you wanted to do. This hood is actually looking really cute. I was worried it was going to look pretty stupid. I just need to add the collar and then the ears and then I'm actually all done. I'm so looking forward to being finished because I've got such a bad headache from the sewing machine sound. It's driving me insane. There's not much to say about the collar. I just sewed the circular piece onto the bottom of the hood and it was done. I'm so happy with this. I think it looks so cute. I'm now going to add the ears, which I'm worried aren't going to really work. If they're floppy, they're floppy. I don't really mind them being floppy. As expected, the ears didn't really work as I wanted them to. I did put 2 layers of interfacing into them, so they had a bit more structure, but it was nowhere near enough. I'll probably go back to this cosplay in the future and add wire to them so I can actually have them positioned exactly like hers. But for now, we're sticking with the floppy ears as the craft shop near me wasn't open on the day I made this. The ears are obviously very floppy, but I kind of like them. They look very rabbit-like and she is a rabbit. So we can finally move on to makeup and make this whole thing come together and I'm so excited. The makeup, I'm basically just going to keep it as simple as possible. My usual palette, start with a light pink. Bit of the darker one. Let's put a shimmer. For the tip of the nose, I'm going to go in with the yellow. That's all looking so cute, yay! Try to do a bit more of a curve. Well, I don't know if it really works. They are the worst eyebrows I've ever drawn in my life. I think I'm done, so let's finally put on the outfit and finish this My Melody transformation. So the final time I turned off the camera was about 11:40-ish. So honestly, I think I could have gone further with this. I don't know what else I could have done specifically for this character to push myself a bit more, but I definitely want to try making more cosplay in limited time in the future. Maybe I'll do one in 24 hours, so obviously I'll have to make every single piece. I just think it'll be exciting to do. So if you do have any ideas for this, please leave them down below in the comments. But for now, if you enjoyed my Melody transformation, please give this video a like and a subscribe as I try and post a new video every single week. But don't hold me to that. Bye for now!